is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning and welcome to Guardian Radio AM. Today is Thursday, April 10th, and it's a little after 11 o'clock in the morning. Looks like my guest did not show up, so that means we have free reign. That means I can let Aaron speak. Right, Lord. So, Aaron, on the other side of the show, unless my guest show up last minute, right? We had a number of topics. Mm-hmm. But you didn't get to finish reading off all of what's trending inside the news, commentary on it. So I'll let you just read them all off one time.
Let me just read the headlines and then I can go to the story and talk about briefly. Fire contained but was still burning.
What fire?
Cartwright fire. Now, when I say the Cartwright fire, I'm not saying that the fire started at Cartwright.
So where did the fire start?
Well, this is interesting because on the day of the fire, there's like a breaking news story from a reputable saying that the commissioner of police said the fire started in Solomon's.
If the commissioner of police said, that's what it is.
But we have a story from yesterday. AML Foods denies blaze started in generator area.
Okay. Look like we need some investigators.
Right? But that headline, fire contained but was still burning. See, Ian, the thing about communication.
What does contain mean?
See, the thing about
But remember they used that with the bushfires in Grand Bahama too. That man, it contained.
See, because with contained, you mean it's not going to damage anything else? Because if it's contained but still burning, right? I mean, you can't put it out? If you can't put it out, why am I to believe that you were in control of the fire?
2 days ago, and I see the caller just hang up because I'm just going to engage him because I know it's going for a while. 2 days
We ain't supposed to talk about these yet, though, but since we're talking about it, let's talk about it.
But 2 days ago, you mentioned the Defense Force and their fire brigade. Mm-hmm. I spoke to the Defense Force office. They do, all of the Defense Force officers, especially when they do new recruits and whoever controlling the base, have to go through some firefighting training.
Yeah.
And it's a routine.
Yeah.
Whenever you have that shift, they do the fire. They don't have no fire trucks. They do not have any fire trucks. He said again, Newry, we don't have no fire trucks. What they do is have like a pump with a suck up water. Truck. They put it on.
They have to carry it. They have to carry it to the site.
Carry it to the site. Look for ocean or water source, and put it down, and it sucks up the water. Okay, when they had the straw market fire some decades ago.
Oh yeah.
And Darryl said the truck ran out of water. Mm-hmm. Yes. And this gone, that gone. Where's the water? The Defense Force did bring their boat around, and they fought the fire
with ocean water,
soak it up. They used that whatever that hose thing, pumping thing
on a boat.
So going back to the fire at the fire in Grand Bahama in the middle of the pine forest, I want to know if they carry one fire engine, where they get the fire engine from. Going back to this fire just recently, when they say, we call Defense Force officers to help.
But there's some things you should consider there.
What?
How many fire hydrants do we have within the city?
No, we ain't talking about fire hydrants. That's
water.
No, you missing.
You're saying you need water.
Ian,
the man said there was no water.
Ian, you missing the point. Implied in what Mr. Newry is saying is we don't even rely on hydrants anymore. This device that he's referencing, you have to insert one end of the hose in a large body of water.
It's a pump.
Listen, you have to insert one end of the hose into a large body of water to pump the water out. What is implied, or what the listener could infer from what he said, is they're not even trying to connect to fire hydrants anymore. Which would you say, and you asking how many fire hydrants we have?
This is important because Mr. Newry was stating that this pump would have been placed into the salt water, and they would have been able to abstract water from the salt water, saying that it's a pump. But my thing to you is that what if I'm in the center of town, where somewhere like
the center of town,
something of that nature?
That's what's implied. We don't give up on fire hydrants. We don't give up on it. Fire hydrant? What that for? That's for tying your dog up to it, eh?
We call it the Defense Force with a pump. Anyway, I just want to mention that, but continue.
It's problematic. Mm-hmm. It's problematic. And at this point, especially as we're coming to the end of the Easter season, I hope politicians are reflecting, right? Are reflecting on what their legal, moral, and ethical obligations are to the job and the people of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Okay, so fire contained but was still burning. AML Foods denies blaze started in generator area. Man accused of setting fire at old police station. A man was sent to prison after being accused of setting fire to the old Central Police Station Inquiries Department last week.
Where's the Central Police Station?
Central is at the northern end of East Street, right before you get to Bay Street.
Okay, and there's an old building there?
I don't know.
They have two
Or,
buildings.
or there's a BPL building. Remember, I had to pay my, not
That's-
BPL, I had to pay my phone bill
Yeah.
in one of those buildings. I didn't know-
PTC.
There's three buildings there.
Okay.
Okay, one is TCU, I think. One is Central, and the other one is, I think, where the prosecutions were.
So, but where's the old police building?
But it must be
One of
okay.
those three
I think
buildings.
okay. It says the individual Cecil Edward Roberts
you have a good
III.
That's a good man. Not guilty. Already, not guilty. Cecils don't do things like that.
I agree with you.
You know, it's entrapment. It's an entrapment, man.
Prosecutors allege Roberts intentionally set fire to a two-story yellow-trimmed white stone building belonging to the government. So if you could picture a two-story yellow-trimmed
That's the one,
white
see.
stone building, must be right next to the Central.
Metelco.
That's the telecommunication
Yeah, that's
building.
Metelco.
Yeah.
That was the old Central Police Station Inquiries Department. I wonder how many inquiries were in the department when it burned down. I see your call. Give me 1 second. Firefighters bring brush fires on Abaco and Eleuthera under control. Bahamians warned of heightened U.S. security, including searches of electronic devices. Right? And then I have this story from the U.S., which I will talk about next week because this is fascinating and it may be of interest to Bahamians. Will the SAVE Act make it harder for married women to vote?
The SAVE Act?
Yeah.
What do you mean by SAVE Act?
It is I can tell you right now exactly what it is, the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act. But basically what they want to do is to be able to vote, you need to produce a birth certificate.
Okay.
That's no problem. You got to be able to produce a birth certificate to prove that you're a citizen.
Right.
But they're saying that there's things in nature and in effect. In nature, that's a great idea. In effect, millions and millions of American women may have great difficulty obtaining a certificate because their names were legally changed when they got married.
Ah.
Yeah. So if they can't produce a birth certificate, or if the birth certificate.
Disenfranchised.
Yeah. Okay. Good morning, caller. Good morning.
How are you?
Good. Thank you. How are you?
Great. And you people in the station?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, you get the answer where the old Central Police Station was?
You tell me.
Tell us.
Okay. You know, Bank Lane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the old Supreme Court is on Bank Lane. You agree with that?
Yes.
It's a circle with a big tree right in that area.
Okay.
And on the eastern side, Bank Lane downstairs, CID was upstairs.
Okay.
Ah.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you very, very
Okay.
much. You have
I'll
a.
tell you one thing.
Yes, sir.
Ain't nobody been called to contradict that.
You was a police officer?
Oh, I am.
Oh, okay.
I joined the force in 59.
What was your number?
403 roll.
403 roll.
Now you joined the force in 1959.
That's correct.
You ever was on the road with Bumpy Watkins locking up the young boy them in Centerville who was trying to jump canoe?
No, that was before my time.
Okay,
But
sir.
Hey,
Yes, sir.
it had to be. You see, because when I joined the force, Bumpy was in charge of ISD.
Okay.
Ah.
And ISD is down there by the where you get your record.
Okay.
And I used to work for him.
Before you go, can you give me a name of some prominent police or force officer who would have served with you or started?
You got to come up on your volume.
Oh, you said
Okay. Any prominent police force officer who would have started with you? A name of any one of them?
Now, those who started with me, they retire, and most of them have gone on.
yes, sir.
Now, these commissioners, assistant superintendent, assistant commissioner, they don't know me because I retired 42 years ago.
Wow.
I
Okay.
retired in 1983.
Wow. I was
turned
only
in
7.
59.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your service.
Thank you for thanking me.
And make sure keep calling back, please.
Yes.
Oh, I just see. You know me, you know.
Yes, sir.
I go make myself known to you on Saturday to the exchange
Glaston
here
Road.
on Five Trail Road.
Okay, I coming out. I
I you come make myself to you, okay?
Okay, sir.
Very well.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
By the way, blessing to you all and to your family.
Nice to you, Mr. Rose.
And to you and
neighbors,
yours.
the community. Blessing, okay?
Yes, sir.
Blessings. Thank you so much.
Let's go quickly through all these calls, Aaron.
Let's go, caller. Good morning.
A very interesting call from the gentleman, and I would like for him to call back maybe another time to confirm. But my father worked in that building, right? So that would have been in the early 70s and early 60s, right? So there is Frederick Street, where just facing the post office, right? I mean the Registrar General's office, and where the Bank of the Bahamas is, right?
Okay, no, that's Charlotte. Okay, so Charlotte Street, Bank of the Bahamas is now on the corner of Charlotte Street.
Yeah, but that's Charlotte Street. That's Charlotte,
Yeah.
not Frederick.
Yeah.
Because Frederick would be more east, I guess.
West.
But yeah, Charlotte Street. That's where it is. That used to be my father. It was a speed cop, and I was very young, and I remember going to that building where that pink building is, the Credit Suisse or whatever that financial institution is. Just west of that, across the road, where you see the pink church. That's where he used to go, and that used to be road traffic. So I don't know if he want to verify that, but it used to be a police station right there. And another thing is, as it relates to this topic about, but Aaron, the situation in immigration was apparent to me for decades now. My question as it relates to this case that's being adjudicated, I don't want to comment on it, but the thing is about me, I'm very upset that we don't incorporate and go after the justice of the peace who have signed these documents. And so we as Beeman citizens would like to know, will these nefarious documents be taken away or made null and void? Because otherwise, all of these conversations are futile. Because when you implement an AI system or some biometrics like Allen and you guys will be talking about, then obviously some people have gotten their passport and citizenship through ill-gotten means. That's what would be interesting about. And even so, as the other caller Jeff talked about, even in relation to the driving situation, revoking people's driver's license, certain city ordinances that could enhance our lifestyle and our well-being in the country, right? I don't hear they suspend people's driver's license. They don't do anything about the drivers. Jeff was talking about the way to identify drivers using AI generated cameras to send bills to people if they do traffic infractions. We are in the dark ages. It's cheap. I stop reading pages. Give thanks.
Thank you
Blessings.
very much. We have one more caller?
Yeah.
Let's squeeze that caller in then.
And then we had talk about the fish.
Yes. Go ahead, caller. Can you hear us?
Yeah, you all mentioned a nice name just now, Pompey Arrington Watkins.
You know him?
I know him. That's my granddaddy.
Blessings.
My granddaddy.
Blessings, cousin.
Say cousin.
No, man, hold on, pause.
from Long Island.
Hold on, pause.
Long Island and Scotland.
Let me tell you your family. Vivica Watkins is your family, right?
And everyone knows him.
One of the warmest, most gracious, and she tell me I could call her cousin. So now we's cousins.
The best is Diane. The best is Diane, my mother. That's the best.
Yeah.
I think she'd be on the show the other day or from GHS.
Yeah. But guess what?
Yes.
That's when policing was policing. Back in the day. I hear you say lock up the fellas for junk ruin. Believe you me, if some fellas is very stupid, that's why they're getting locked up.
Okay, I got you. Yeah.
And the next policeman, what was next to him, was next one named Gary Lord Rule. That one?
Yeah, Lord Rule.
He was in charge of road traffic at one point. And that's a man, I tell you, once you hear them say they looking for you, people them going to the station. They ain't got to worry about coming for them. They going to the station and saying, okay, here you all are, so accept me. Like nowadays, you got to go look for these fellas. Once these fellas here certain policemen were looking for them, they going to the station.
Yeah.
And I tell you now, that's when policing was policing.
Man, listen, something, just what you raised, there's a culture of policing, and that has shifted.
Yes.
And it's a detriment to the younger officers as they come into the force, right?
But guess what? You know what happened? No one invested in the force. You know why? Because you bringing in people of all kinds of nationalities. I don't. They saying they Bahamians. Believe me, they ain't Bahamians. How could you start out illegal and end up legal?
Okay, I appreciate. I appreciate the sentiment that you're saying, and I can sort of cap it off with this is a national security issue, right? And so
Yeah,
you got to be very
We need to
careful.
bring an
But
immigration
listen,
lawyer.
my grandfather was one of those imports, right? One from Turks and one from
That's before
Barbados.
the Bahamas was Bahamas.
I mean-
you know what? You understand? They said that
And-
before
yeah.
we got our independence.
I got you.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting conversation. I want you call back because you say something real. Like when you hear the name Bumpy Watkins, you know what time it is.
Yes.
When I
And I
hear
remember
Bumpy
he booked-
Watkins,
and my-
I think of Abaco.
And my father was a similar. He trained him. He would book you. He'll book you like he booked my old lady get booked, and we had to go pay he paid the fine in court.
Yeah.
But he booked my old lady.
Thank you very much. caller.
And listen, thank you so much. When I went to go take my driving test, the driving instructor said, "Look here, I done failed all my children twice.
Okay.
Prepare yourself."
You know about Bumpy Watkins and Abaco? And Dynamite? And Bridge? And to Linden trying to pass across it? I just remember things. When he had a name, I just got a flashback. Lord, save my prime minister. Anyway, let's go to this caller because we got to read with the fish. There's a fish shortage, man. There's a fish shortage. Go ahead to the last. Let's call. Go ahead, caller. Guardian Radio AM. You get your fish yet?
Good morning, everyone in the studio.
Good morning.
Blessings.
Yeah, my question this morning is very paradoxical from then to now. Growing up as a child, I remember going to Lake Kalani, right?
Mm-hmm.
And basically we used to go down there, try to get them the fishing there. Right?
That's why it's about. You say you all used to go down to Lake Kalani to fish
Yeah,
for Good Friday fish.
yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, they know basically that's catching fish, you know.
Yeah.
Going and they're sailing their boats and stuff, right?
Okay.
But what is ironic, right? Right? It's paradoxical. As a child, it was called Lake Alani, right across from the big IMAX theater, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, as an adult, they telling me that's Lake Cunningham.
Okay.
Lake Cunningham was in the back by the airport.
I used to think it was Lake Kalani too.
Lake Kalani?
Oh no, I
No,
think the one
no.
by Fusion is Lake Cunningham.
Across
No,
the
they changed
road
the
from.
name.
Really?
They changed the name.
I didn't know that. I
They
thought Lake
changed the name.
Kalani.
I don't-
I was like, hold on.
I'm not
Lake
sure.
Cunningham, huh?
I say
Lake Cunningham Estate. That's in Lake Alani. Lake Cunningham is in the back of the airport. I remember that being called that name.
See-
Almost a crash in the back of it. Nine persons got killed.
I remember thinking it's Lake Kalani all my life, and then I started doing the show and like the dragon boat race, and I think somebody tell me, no, that's not Lake Kalani. Lake Kalani is somewhere else.
Really?
They changed the name.
Okay. I can
Okay.
ask my daddy.
I'm telling you, I've been around before you all.
Yeah. I can ask
Thank
my
you
daddy.
very much.
Thanks very much.
All right.
You want to squeeze this call in or you want to read
You
it?
see, y'all missed the best part of that story. They used to go there and fish.
Man, no fish inside that lake, man.
Not anymore.
No, okay. They take all the fish out.
Okay, let's go to this caller, and then we gotta get to this fish story, man.
There's fish shortage. Go ahead. Go ahead, caller.
In the third largest fish nursery in the world.
Go ahead, caller.
Good morning, caller.
Hey, let's go back and tell you all I can bring you all a book. One is books. You all read this book before?
No.
Of course, I hear you making some statement, but the dynamite in the bridge and Abaca and all that thing.
You know about that?
You open the mouth. I open talk, but you opening them too with the 1622.
Don't worry. We gonna meet on 1622 Boulevard and Alstom Avenue.
I will bring the book. I'll bring the book to you all.
Thank you very much.
Okay, then, caller.
Thank you very much. And
ahead.
I see. I appreciate that response. Right? Like y'all don't know, I can bring the book for you.
Yes.
So you get some more information. I like it so I could fine tune my jokes better. Right? The more accurate they are, the funnier they are. Now, Mr. Newry, what did you say just now about the fish shortage?
Yes.
In the third largest fish
I
nursery in the
heard
world.
There is a fish shortage. Yeah, there's a fish shortage. Where's Lake? We round about Lake.
That's
Lake
not what we're talking
Kalani.
about. We're talking about.
Where's Lake
okay,
Kalani?
What we're talking about is the
That's the one we don't see. So there's always Lake Cunningham there. Where we see.
by fusion, right? Right. See, that's what. So I'm saying, but right. So
Always has
anyway,
been.
one of the
That's what we
experts
said the
came
same
in the
thing.
room, and that's what
Yeah,
he
I was
said.
saying
That's
the
what I
same
was
thing.
saying.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, I thought that was Lake Kalani,
All of the same.
and then I learned.
That's a lake.
I'm tell you, they tell you why all is the same to me. I'm in the lake when I could go swim in one in the most beautifulest beaches in the world.
To catch fish.
But you got Harold Pond too.
No, we know where Harrow
Don't
Pond
go
is.
swimming.
We know where Harrow Pond is. It's
Okay,
Lake
so
Kalani
listen.
and Lake Cunningham. We round about.
Here's the article.
Go ahead.
Fishermen warn that there is a lack of fish this Easter.
Is it a lack of fish,
Or lack of
that's
fishermen?
an opportunity for them to raise the prices on the fish?
Or is there a
I'm
lack
just saying.
has there been a lack of fishing? Because we're in the third largest fish nursery in the world, if not the second. Here we go. It will be difficult for customers to find fish for Good Friday because fishermen cannot clear enough due to a compressor ban that disables them from clearing fishing nets. National Fisheries Association President Keith Carroll told Guardian Business yesterday that the government needs to relax the policy on fishermen using compressors for fishing during the period of April 1st to July 31st so they can clear nets that would allow them to bring in more fish. Quote, fishermen are not allowed to carry compressors on their boats once the crawfish season closes, said Carroll. That means when fishermen are hauling in snappers and stuff and they don't have compressors, they can't go down to clear their nets. They need the compressor on board to clear their nets, but they are not allowed to carry compressors on board. The ban on compressors was done to stop fishermen from harvesting crawfish out of season. I want to stick a pin, I want to talk about that specifically so that they can regenerate for the following season. We've been telling the government that they are not the ones that are out there fishing. They don't know what the guys need, but yet again, they don't listen to the fishermen. It's just like using a computer in the office. A compressor is a part of a fisherman's toolbox. They can't fish without it, close quotes. When the Defense Force seizes a boat with an illegal compressor on board, the boat is confiscated until the case is cleared in court, which consists. There won't be any snappers for Easter this year. All of the major boats I know that bring in snappers, they are home. They don't go out to sea because they are not allowed to carry their compressor, Carroll noted. I want to stick a pin on that point as well. The article continues. Marco Nichols, owner of Marco's Seafood, said he had no snappers at his fish house because his suppliers have not been bringing them in. The hardest thing for us now is snappers. Snappers are very scarce, Nichols also said. As well as the availability of snappers, the overall price of fish has risen because of different things like the price of diesel. Bahamian people like to wait until the last minute, and that causes higher prices. The more the demand is, the higher the price. We stick a pin there. Snappers are the fastest selling fish. You stick a pin there because somebody called me this morning and say snappers ain't even a Good Friday fish. It ain't, in fact, the word they used was it's not a Jesus fish.
No, it's supposed to be Jack and Goggle Eye. I want to know how come no one talk about Jack and Goggle Eye.
But that's exactly what the person messaged me early this morning.
Sweet mode. We ain't eating no Jack and no Goggle Eye.
No, pause. We can stick a pin there. You bougie, and you still ain't bring the Johnny
The
King.
Bearmans can eat the snapper and the grouper.
I
Y'all know
want
that.
Jack and Goggle Eye.
Nichols added that there are a lot of unlicensed fish vendors on the streets now, which is also a problem with the scarcity of fish at the fish houses. You have some guys that just pull up on the side of the road. That's a big problem now, he said.
Why are you trying to break people's hustle?
Stick a pin there. Okay, so here's the first thing I want to say. Going down to clear the net is very important. Take away the economic impact, right? You can't just have these nets sitting in the water for fish and turtle and whales and all the little things we see in Finding Nemo to get caught up in the nets. Dolphins, whales, fish, squid, octopi, right? All of these things could get caught in these nets. The nets have to be cleared as quickly as possible. That's a technical point. Here's the next point I want to make. Why are we continually lambasted and bombarded with lazy policing? Now you all want plantation the ocean? Look, you got a specific problem. The specific problem is poaching crawfish in the closed season, right? Whether it's local, domestic, because the season's closed, whether it's domestic or foreign poachers in the closed season. That's your specific problem. The strategy, the solution that you have devised is detrimental to the entire industry. The boy them say you don't go out without your compressor. What if I being chased by Megalodon or his little brother? A shark is menacing the boat, right? And something gets caught in my propeller, and I can't move the boat. And now you got this shark just battering my boat, and I can't send anybody down with a compressor to clear the line before the shark started menacing, right? Like you have a problem that you refuse to spend the resources to solve, and now you are going to destroy the entire fishing industry because of it. The nets need to be cleared just for the marine life. That in and of itself is the priority issue. And it is disheartening that after decades and decades of being in this country, that we have to continually be oppressed and beat down because you're mediocre, you're lazy, you're thoughtless, you refuse to do what you know you ought to do when you know you ought to do it. Okay, here's the next point about fish shortage. You know how many different fish in the ocean right here by the Bahamas? Why is it that people, why y'all only want snapper? And then the snapper expensive.
I want Jack.
You ever had one small dog master, mango snapper,
Strawberry grouper.
strawberry grouper?
That's my favorite.
Hein fish.
Right? It's all kinds of different fish in the water, and fresh fish tastes better than frozen and imported fish. It don't matter where you import it from.
Tilapia.
And here's the next thing, you're going to go to hell if you sell people swai and tilapia and call it grouper and snapper.
We should have been banning those.
On Easter holiday.
No.
It's madness. There's so many other types of fish available
The swai
in
fish
the
should have been
water
banned, Darren.
to eat.
We should have
No, but-
banned the swai fish should have been banned here in the Bahamas based on what we have in our waters. We should do those, or we should have not been importing those.
See, but it's the same thing now, right? Hold on. It's the same thing now. You don't put on a blanket rule because you can't govern a particular space. This is a cultural thing. Well, it's two things. It's a cultural thing where we don't know the variety of fish we have available to us, right? We don't understand how easily we're led by marketers. And then a very specific thing. The problem is partially selling tilapia and swai in the third largest fish nursery in the world. But the larger problem is mislabeling, false advertising. Telling me you selling me grouper, but it's swai. Telling me you selling me snapper.
with the price.
And the price attached to it. Now, tilapia is a snapper, right? Like in the snapper family. But these are farm-raised snapper. And I'm not even sure if they saltwater farm-raised snapper. Why would you eat a farm snapper when you live in the third largest fish nursery in the world? So then the next point is this. Where in the Bible it say Jack and Goggle Eye is Jesus' fish?
Right in Matthew. Say eat fish on Good Friday.
Hold on, which one? I thought Peter was the fisherman. If you told me it was where Peter was talking, I'd tell you, okay, I could believe that. I thought Peter was, or was it Simon? Which one was the
On
fisherman?
the other side. And eat whatever you catch.
I can't clear my net. That's the problem, Newry. Anyway, I think this is an important story, right? And it also is a great opportunity to examine what's going wrong, right? Like these spaces, because, again, our largest archipelago in the Caribbean, third largest fish hatchery in the world, right? And it's like it's chaos every Good Friday.
There's a text that asked me a question for you and CA. They're asking the questions that after the removable properties act was removed, right?
Repealed or appealed?
Appealed or
repealed
put
in
on
part.
the side, and foreigners were able to access the lands here in the Bahamas. They're asking the question is that why do the Bahamians pay property taxes when they have already satisfied the government by paying their stamp taxes and every other tax in regards to purchasing the land?
You all live on a plantation. Hey, that's it. You live on a
Well, they
plantation.
didn't just finish there. They said that shouldn't the properties tax, based on the removal of the Immovable Properties Act, shouldn't just foreigners or expatriates or whoever, they pay the property taxes and Bahamians be exempted?
Okay, I got to do research on that. Like, right? I got to do research on that. But first of all, we live on a plantation. And second of all, because you remember when they started taxing taxes? Y'all didn't really say anything. And they could get away with whatever they want. Okay, I think that was the last pin to be unstuck from that article, right? But I think the most important thing is that we got to be careful that we're not destroying the industry that we're trying to protect with lazy policing and lazy strategizing. Yeah, that's traffic.
Okay. What's else is trending inside the news before we go?
IMF, population growth has outpaced new and affordable housing.
I thought our population was growing. So who
It is growing.
Who are the people who having babies?
Okay, so the population is growing.
That's a good question.
The rate of increase has dropped.
Yeah.
But I think this article is only saying what we've been saying for a couple of years now, right? That we have a housing crisis,
Oh, we've been
and it's exacerbated
we knew that.
by a I don't want to say unregulated. I don't want to say poorly regulated, disjointed regulation of tourism markets.
I just get a text saying Grand Bahama have all kind of fish. That's a shortage in Nassau. Any kind of fish you want. you
Okay,
get in
so
Grand Bahama.
great point. There is not a shortage of fish in the ocean. What was indicated in the article is that the boats are not going out to catch the fish, right? So there's going to be a limited supply available to Nassauvians and people in New Providence because the larger boats are refusing to take the risks involved in going out to sea without compressors.
I see your favorite spot of Montague, the vendors seem to be resellers now. They're not necessarily fishermen.
Yeah,
they
buy
buy
the
fish from the
and
fishermen.
resell 'em.
and
Okay,
resell them.
so a couple of things. That's a really fascinating space. Some of the people that you see, they actually have boats. And so like the person that you see out there, maybe the boat owner, and he sells the fish when the boats come in, right? Some of those people are resellers. To be at Montague Ramp, you have to rent a spot, right? That's not the biggest issue for me. The biggest issue for me is going to be the chaos in that general area today and tomorrow
To buy fish.
and over the weekend to buy fish.
So you need to go to the fish house.
Because I'm not telling people don't go there. What I'm asking people to do is when you go there, remember to go there with common sense, right? Like when you enter the ramp area, the parking area in front of the water, drive your car with sense. Think about where you want to park your car. Don't hold up traffic on Bay Street because you're trying to get to the dock.
Don't drive into the dock.
If the entry is blocked, you got extra parking on the right-hand side. So right when you pass the light, they open up that little park area there for
park across the
parking.
street.
You could go straight forward and park in the cutouts in between Montague Ramp and Dix Point. There's spaces available for you to park safely. And in the alternate, you turn into a parking spot on Montague Beach and then walk up to the ramp. But don't let traffic back up for a mile and a half because you won't go to the dock and there's no place to go. Just drive around.
This text says Lake Cunningham is located on the northern side of John F. Kennedy, Lake Killarney, as well as Lake Nancy. I went canoeing in Lake Nancy. Is on the southern side of JFK. Just want to read that into record so we can know where's where. The lake.
So the lake, when you're taking the airport drive,
You're going to the port towards the airport.
that's Lake Cunningham on your right-hand side.
That's Lake Cunningham on the right hand side.
Yeah.
And on the left hand side is Lake Nancy and Lake Killarney.
Right. So our conversation, we weren't questioning which lake was which. We were saying
The name.
that we were also confused as young people about which lake was which lake.
Call it the lake. It's the lake. Yeah.
You remember that story at the end of last year where the red car drove into the lake and a body was never recovered, and then nobody has said anything, and nobody said, okay, we didn't recover a body immediately. We sent dive teams down to determine if there's a deceased person in the lake, and then nothing happened.
This text says, Aaron, how come there are so many Americans on boats at Montague Beach fishing? So only foreigners can fish and sell. Well, I can't read that part.
Okay.
But there's a lot of boats.
There's a big problem in Montague Harbor because imagine to run an Airbnb facility in the Bahamas. I got to register with the Bahamian government. I got to pay tax. But some people think they could pull their boat into Montague Harbor, claim special rules for mariners. You can't leave people in the ocean by themselves, right? And they actually running businesses.
But my thing is, why
So
did-
hold on, it made me question, is that the reason why it took so long for the bathroom at the ramp to reopen? Because they were trying to determine whether people were using the public facility to facilitate their undocumented, unregulated short-term rental project in the middle of Montague Harbor.
But my question is, why do the Bahamians have to pay tax on an Airbnb when the government had then issued and said that they wanted to diversify the economy in regards to tourism?
Pause. Why am I paying a tax to operate an Airbnb and the government's not taking that specific tax to fund affordable housing options for people who living in the car with their children?
But the question is, even with the housing project in regards to that, I think that we should have resumed those areas. We should have been making those areas now what was just residential, multifamily. And so we would have been thinking that now the right thing should have been
tourist
doing.
is not my family.
Not just the tourists. I'm saying for the natives themselves, because we have Bahamians that are sleeping in cars. We have Bahamians that are sleeping in abandoned buildings. We have Bahamians that are being housed in shelters for 2 to 3 weeks and then kicked out.
Okay, but so you're saying that you're saying that there are communities that only have single family homes and they should be able to have duplexes and triplexes?
Because this is the way forward. Not everybody is going to be able to own just a home with a yard. I'm just
Then
saying what the reality
I'll
is.
respond with this. West Bay Street is residential. It has now become commercial. All of them turn into Airbnb. Bahamians ain't getting access to them.
But this is my point.
But see, you recommended or pushing the issue for changing to commercial. But I'm suggesting to you that when it's changed to commercial, it's still ain't for Bahamians. They all gonna be Airbnb properties.
But I'm saying to you, if Bahamians own their land in the Camp Road, in the let's say those particular areas, right? If you can now use those as a multi-family, right? Mm-hmm. That means that you, instead of building that one structural house, you can build 4 units on one thing.
Yeah. And rent it out to tourists.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So
To rent it out to tourists. Bahamians still ain't got nowhere to live.
They still be in the cars.
The Bahamians still have access because they own the land.
Yeah. They still be in the
No,
cars.
okay.
ahead.
Are you looking out for the Bahamian businessman, or are you looking out for the Bahamian who needs someplace to
I'm
live?
looking for the Bahamian looking for some place to live. The reality is this: a house may cost you $180,000, right? Over the course of a period of time, you may pay back, let's say, $300,000 plus.
Okay, hold on. Would you be okay with me having HOA, right? Like a housing agreement, so the rules that this community will be governed by, that any multi-unit structure that has 3 or more units be one of those units, and that the money or the tax derived from that Airbnb has to be taken and put into a fund to provide affordable housing options. See, because here's what's going to happen. You're going to rezone, and then all the units can be filled with tourists. And Bahamians still could be living in their cars without proper regulation.
I can recall when the low-cost homes were initiated in the country in regards to that, right?
You mean, see, because they're not low-cost homes. See,
at that time, they were.
No. They're not low-cost homes. You mean the government's program?
The government program.
That's not what that was. The homes cost the same as every other house. Or the mortgage, right? Is the same as every other bank's cost. What the government did was it lowered the criteria to access a mortgage.
I can recall I think they started in 81, the Mortgage Corporation, right? Mm-hmm. I think that the houses at that time was between 30, some 28, some 30, some $40,000, give or take with those new projects, right? Fast forward today, the same low-cost homes are about 180 something, maybe 150, give or take, depending on what all you get within those houses. Right? And we said that you may not fit the criteria for the 180,000. You may not fit the criteria for 150, but you may fit the criteria in regards to your salary and where you're at at $79,000 and $80,000. Preferably buying a house rather than buying a 1 or 2 bedroom unit. The rent cost in the country has really skyrocketed. You're looking at persons now charging you for 1 bedroom, and sometimes the upgrades inside the buildings don't even account for the monies they're asking for. So you're asking a minimum of $1,000 after the Doreen. So after Doreen, we're charging $1,000 for 1 bedroom. A 2 bedroom is anywhere between the 17, 18, and 2,500. You're talking about 3 bedrooms can go anywhere between 3 and 5,000. This here in the Bahamas. But you're saying that if these individuals can afford to pay the landlord $1,000 for the last 10 years, shouldn't you give them an opportunity to afford something that's
Hold on,
government doing
pause.
the rent room. Let me read this text though. So we're thinking, because I hear y'all going down that and we've been talking about a housing crisis for a while.
No, here's my thing. start a bank. Bahamians don't want to start a bank. Like, as I'm saying, Bahamians, the same thing with
You
50.
said they don't want to start it.
Hold on, pause.
Are they not going to be regulated to get it?
No. See, you always go and hobnob with these same policymakers and decision makers. You always have fun with them and be friendly with them, and then we'll talk about they're not going to let us do it. The same thing with 52 and his concerns about our ability to read the information that's coming past us. Take your money, your time, and resources and build the institutions necessary to do what it is you want to do in the country. Stop begging the politicians to do it with half your mouth and then going and smiling and rubbing your elbow and shoulder with them with the other half of your mouth. Get serious about what you to do the hard work of maintaining a bank. They don't want to do the hard work. They want to find a way to create their own personal plantation so they could just make money without having to do anything, right? We have to do the hard work of building the infrastructure necessary to have the country that we want.
Let me put this in the record anyway, because I hear you're going back and forth. It said, Aaron, just now driving past the airport right after you pass the police station on the left-hand side of the road after the roundabout, there's a huge billboard that says, congratulations, Aisha Bowe, the first Bahamian in space. This is by the Ministry of Tourism and has a big smiling picture of Aisha. No matter how you try to spin it, Aisha is not a Bahamian. What do you mean she's not a Bahamian? She is an African American. People can hate it. Born, raised, and educated in the U.S.
Okay, stop right there. You see they use the word African American,
Yeah.
right? African American is not a nationality. We're not saying that she is a Bahamian national. We're saying that culturally, she's Bahamian. Her roots, her ancestry links her to the Bahamas.
Her lineage.
Because she's an American citizen.
This is how they try to throw city upon you.
She's a
city upon your
Bahamian
way.
descent.
How they throw anyway, this person said she in something about the Chinese soup. Listen, Aaron, if if that was you growing up in space on a blue origin, I would have parade you and make sure all the Chinese came out to celebrate and bring all the tambourine for you to enjoy.
Who tell you me and the Chick Chinese ain't already been to space? Me, Tony McKay, and KB, we done been there.
We're going to take this quick commercial break. We're just talking random things happening in the news. This is Guardian Radio AM. Of course, we have Aaron Green, who's with me, because we have Ian Munnings, who tend to be with us on Mashdown Wednesday. He hasn't been here for a while. We're glad to welcome him with us as we talk some random things inside the news. But we'll be right back. We'll be right back and continue our conversation.
Wait, you know what's going down tomorrow?
Nobody what happening?
Joe bringing these knives to school. He could do Junior in.
For what?
Wait, he fooled with Joe girl.
Mother sick. And you know Junior don't back down for nothing. So that means you got a big fight tomorrow.
So whose side you on?
Side? I trying to stay in school, not Simpson Pen. We gotta tell somebody about this fight.
Tell somebody. I ain't no snitch. I mean cool, you know.
Wait, if you so cool, then you need to stay in school and stay out of the fight.
Yeah, but if I don't hang on Joe's side, him and he boys coming for me next.
Alright, so we definitely gotta tell somebody. We gotta prevent the fight.
What I say, I don't want nobody call me snitch.
We could just call Crime Stoppers, and nobody gotta know it's you.
So what are the boy?
All you gotta do is call them, or you text them through the Crack Crime Bahamas app, and nobody can know it's you.
Then the police come looking for me for more info, and when they finish with them, Joe them coming looking for me?
When you call Crime Stoppers, the calls go directly to Miami, and they don't ask nothing about you. Then you can get the pen from them, and they can claim a reward later using that same pen.
Plus, everything's scrambled, so nobody can read what you're saying.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands.
Just sign in and have a seat, please. They'll call you in for your x-ray shortly.
That's why they call it a waiting room. You won't have that problem at 4th Terrace Diagnostic Center or Imaging at Grosvenor. We never schedule multiple appointments, so you'll be in and out in no time. And if your initial screening reveals a concern, our radiologist can conduct an alternative screening right then and there. Call 328-8157 to schedule an appointment at 4th Terrace Diagnostic Center or Imaging at Grosvenor today.
Love the show? Want to give your support? Become a sponsor today. Call 302-2300 for our rates and packages. That's 302-2300. Become a sponsor on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
You
You try to rest, roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers. For window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it. Just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Back to Guardian Radio AM. Before we continue, where can I get some hot cross bun, Ian, Aaron?
Ask Ian, because he's the Johnny Cake man.
Man, Ian bring no Johnny Cake to the studio in months.
And you know
I
this-
give up. I don't even know if you still have that business.
He better have Johnny Cake hot cross
I don't
bun in
even
his
ask
car.
no more. I don't even ask.
You
no
better
more.
have it in your car.
Hopefully during Christmas he'll remember us again.
I have not seen.
Aaron.
Not seen one advertisement for hot cross buns on social media.
I was all over the farmer's market looking for a particular eye. You know the eye thing? It's on a pepper sauce. Once you see those eyes, you know there's something
Yeah.
strange is about to happen.
They're having a big pepper show come next week Saturday. At where going? Taste. What's the name?
Taste
Aaron?
and Tell.
Taste and Tell. I go on to Taste and Tell.
I want to see the eye thing.
You can see the eye thing.
Last time I bought a
come
few of
Saturday.
those.
Come Saturday at Taste and Tell. Next week Saturday, Taste and Tell. You can see all kind of pepper with them.
Because I use that pepper in the curry.
In curry. I have Carolina Reapers. I just get in. So
Oh, man, that's pepper.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
all.
kind of excited about that. Aaron, you want some pepper? Where can I guess?
And I just tell you, goat pepper almost killed me Monday night.
No. That's the small things. That's you eat goat pepper raw.
I mean, I missing. I just missing bite the whole thing.
And Aaron supposed to bring the tamarind. We ain't get that yet.
I not you. No, I.
You from Fox City.
Listen, you ain't put the tamarind in the Johnny Cake yet. I don't understand why you think I could bring you the
wanna know
tamarind.
where I can get some hot cross buns.
This is what
And does my hot cross bun have to have raisin in it to be a hot cross bun?
No.
And can I eat Jamaican bun during the Bahamian
No.
Easter celebration?
Of course you can.
No.
And can I eat that Jamaican cheese? Or
No.
I got to stick to the hot cross bun with?
Your feelings, because fish too
Eat it with
expensive.
You eat the hot cross bun with tea.
And with tea?
Yes. Tea.
Okay.
You do the fish.
And can I eat salmon during Easter?
No.
I can't eat salmon during Easter?
No, I mean not. You could, but not on Good Friday.
So what kind of fish can I eat on Friday?
Apparently, Jack and Goggle Eye only.
Snapper.
And snapper?
No.
And not salmon.
Snapper, grouper, and the strawberry boy.
And can I do that bake? What do you put it in the oven with the foil paper? What that's called? Baked fish? What
Yeah.
do you put it
Yeah,
in?
you bake fish. Yeah.
Yeah, when you have the cassava and the sweet potato.
No,
and
that's
the
not
corn.
how we do it. But you could do that.
But how you do that? How you do yours?
Like big fish
Yeah.
with tomato.
That's what making moisture.
No, I mean like it but it bake in the juices and you put the tomato
What
and
put the
you,
sweet potato and in the corn?
Yeah,
And the
you
plantain.
have to put that inside that.
you
plant
make
in
you
the
making
corn.
soup in the baker.
Not
No,
the
no,
soup.
you put it in the foil paper and you close it up.
That's called grill fish.
But it's in the baker.
But you grilling it
Okay. I guess you call it grill.
because we's Bahamians.
Yeah. What's this grill then?
We going to watch rockets land in the water and then calling it space tourism.
Yeah.
We's Bahamians.
But you got to put it in Bahamian way. Lime, pepper, thyme.
So how you doing your fish?
Well, you know, you can same way you want to do that. You want to put the cassava, the sweet potato, the corn, put that in the foil paper, put in your lime, add a little bit of garlic, add a little bit of spice and seasoning, and put your thyme inside that and let go.
So you not the salt and pepper?
You don't need the salt and pepper.
But can
The
you
fish
use-
already
Can I use season oil?
Season-
It feels in the fish.
With what? Would you season the fish with?
Just like
Your tails?
just salt and pepper. That's it.
Salt,
Salt
pepper?
and pepper.
What type of pepper?
No garlic?
Salt and pepper for the fish. That's it.
Lime,
Anybody,
salt and pepper.
anyone on the island when they season the fish, they just put the salt and pepper. That's it. That's
See,
season.
You know why? But you know why, Mr. Newry? Like I get it. Like
Not the
'cause
city people.
as
No,
I
I'm talking about the
travel-
island people. Salt and pepper.
As I travel south in the region, they tend to season the fish and prepare the fish differently. I used to think because they have different types of fish, right? They have more, like in Barbados, they get a lot of dense fly-in fish and jack type fish, right? And so the fish is different. We got a lot of nice white flake fish here. And so they need to add more flavor to it.
Certain fish the Bahamians don't eat. Let's just start off with that. Certain fish the Bahamians do not eat.
Boxfish?
We'll throw them in the water.
But that's because y'all won't starve.
No, the Bahamians just don't eat certain fish.
No, because they
that's the way
want.
it is.
That's because of the merchant culture.
I like boxfish. It tastes like chicken.
Some people may say they can eat grants.
I like turbot when you cook it like minced lobster.
Yeah, I like turbot.
See, some people may eat grants, and then other fishermen may use it as bait. I mean,
Well, I like grant. I
No
like
man,
grant.
fishermen sells what they think what they think people won't buy. They catch what they think people won't buy. But the point is that we need to expand our thought, our conceptualization of the ocean, our thoughts about ourself, sense of self in place. There's tons of fish in the water. You complaining that the snappers are too expensive? Go enjoy another. I went out there. I saw a mango fin fish. I said, give me that. It was like 2 or 3. They sell them to me dirt cheap. Why? He catch them. He didn't catch them for a particular market, right? He said, man, you could basically have these. Give him a couple of dollars. I was loving it, right? I was loving it. Every time I see him bring them, I could buy him. He said, sure. And I started coming out there, and guess what? They were bringing them in, and the people was grabbing them up. Nobody wanted it, but as soon as the fishermen made it available, and people saw the nice bright mango color, they buying it.
Well, the Jamaicans eat the parrot fish.
Yeah, but
you're not supposed to eat them.
We don't want to eat the parrot
You're not
fish.
supposed to eat
Eat
them.
the
I'm just
parrot
saying
fish,
this, but they'll see that parrot fish as group.
Tell them go back home and eat their parrot fish. Leave our parrot fish room. How long can I eat hot cross bun and fish?
Until it finish.
No, I mean, like, does the season over come Sunday? And like, when upon the resurrection, you got to eat ham and turkey? I don't. You start at Christmas. I just don't know.
Unless you Rasta. If you Rasta, you allowed to eat hot cross bun and fish straight through.
Longer.
Yeah, straight through.
Oh, okay. So it's like Christmas, like after Christmas, then you still eat ham and turkey straight throughout till January.
Until it finish.
Until it finish.
Yeah, that's it. Like, because you've been in Nassau too long, you could imagine, I have a pan of fish, but I can't eat anymore because Good Friday finish. I have to throw it away. No, we're going to eat the fish until the fish finish.
And can I eat macaroni during this time?
What's macaroni?
Macaroni.
Oh, big macaroni and cheese?
Yeah, with the fish.
Can you afford to make big macaroni and cheese and buy fish?
Well, the egg's going down. I get that Dominican egg now.
What type of cheese you use?
The one that don't melt properly.
The Chinese version.
Yeah, it don't melt properly.
Do not cast aspersions
You talk about him.
about Chinese. They don't say that.
The cheese doesn't melt.
Minced turbot with avocado and yellow grits.
The bologna don't burn. I am very concerned, especially since our guy had a sausage and rice competition the other day, right? Have you all noticed when you're purchasing your traditional steamed sausage
Who had the sausage and rice?
The director of communication.
in the office of the Prime Minister?
Was there a prize?
Yeah, man. The task knows.
$1,500.
For sausage and rice?
Yeah,
so you think corned beef?
No, there's a sausage and rice competition. There's no combi.
However, the most important thing is this. Have you noticed that the sausage don't burn? I went to the deli.
It's a good sausage.
I tell the young lady, I want the pieces that bun up.
Did it come from pig?
I mean, it become
Bro,
big.
You said it didn't burn. I mean, I don't know. Did it come from a pig?
you remember buying steamed sausage and the sausage was bun up? It was black? You remember that?
Yeah,
Well, now
the
when I go
pieces-
to the food store, they don't be black. I said, miss, I need the pieces that are bun up. And she looked at me. She said, there's no bun up pieces. So I say, what's happening? Who cooked the sausage? She say, miss. I say, listen, ma'am. The sausage supposed to be burned or it's not real steamed sausage. She said, none of the sausage burned. They bring in a different type of sausage now.
Let's squeeze this caller in, producer. This will be our last call for the day. What's up, Aaron? Go ahead, caller. Can you hear us? Your last call for the day. Call girl once. Call girl. See, I try and accommodate you. Before we go, to say, tell Aaron, a group of investors, Bohemian, got together a couple years ago and applied to the central bank for a cooperative license, and they were denied.
That's because you stopped there. If you have the resources, right, to put forward a real substantive application to run a bank, then you have the resources to run a campaign to shift the political culture. Don't just stop there. You got to do the hard work. See, like, that's the hard work of doing it. But they obviously have the resources. And I say, keep going. Whatever the conglomeration is, don't let that stop you. Keep going. But it's going to take a few more steps. Just don't stop there. These the by them you gonna let stop you do what you want to do? Really? These are the guys that we're going to allow to limit our vision of what the Bahamas could be?
So you're saying take it?
You think I can let a boy who can't hum tell me who I could be?
Anyway, it's time to go. Tomorrow is Good Friday. Let us all remember and humble ourselves because our Savior died for our sins. And Monday or Sunday, our Lord resurrect.
Last year you
And
told me
because
you
He
got
live, I can face tomorrow.
Blessings.
Stay safe.
Drive
wonderful
and
day.
drink and drive responsibly.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.